Let's start on the buyback program that you announced overnight. How sustainable is the future of that buyback program in ones to come?
No, thank you for having me on the show. As you saw, we had very good results in the second quarter and also for the 6 months of the year. The underlying performance is very strong. We are running with an operating profit of 6.7 billion. The net income is 4.7 billion, and based on the fundamental of the business, we have also revised our outlook to the upper half of the range. So from that point of view, the sustainability of the underlying performance is very strong. You see this also reflected in the Solvency II capital generation. We are running ahead of expectation on the organic generation Solvency II capital. So definitely there is a lot of strength in the business. I would say this strength is across the different business lines. So from a sustainability point of view, we are definitely on a good track.
So across businesses, but Giulio, I'm wondering if there's any area in particular that allowed you to propel your forecast to the higher end of the range.
Yeah, I would say the two areas where we see really good performance are the asset management side. We gave an outlook for the asset management side of 2.8 billion for the 12 months of 2021, and now just as of June, we are already 1.6 billion. So from that point of view, there is a lot of strength in asset management. Also on the life side, we are running ahead of expectation, and in property casualty, we are at the level of the combined ratio 93 that we were expecting to have. So I would say property casualty is delivering according to expectation, and asset management and life are exceeding the expectation that we had at the beginning of the year.
Giulio, also over the weekend, you announced a USDOJ probe into the structured alpha funds and said that this could have an impact on earnings. The outlook you gave, the operating profit at the high end of 11 billion euros to 13 billion euros, does that reflect the possible impact from that probe?
No, any impact coming from the probe will be reflected below the line. So the operating profit is reflecting the underlying performance of the business, and any thing happening out of that probe will be reflecting our net income and not in the underlying operating profit.
So how exactly then does that affect your guidance, this probe and some of the lawsuits?
As I said before, now, first of all, it's too early to come to any conclusion about what this probe might imply for our financial results. On the underlying performance, is not going to have any impact, because clearly this situation that we have in the US has nothing to do with our underlying performance, so it's not changing our outlook with respect to operating profit. And then we're going to see if we need to proceed to do any booking for our net income in the next quarters, and this is going to be dependent on the information that we're going to receive.
Sure. Giulio, what remedial steps have been taken so far, given the probe that you announced to the market over the weekend?
You know, we started basically a review already a year ago when we became aware of the fund performance. So we set up a cross-functional team to review and understand the product performance. And also we set up this cross-functional team with the support of external legal and economic advisors. Recently, we have also augmented this effort with a forensic review. We are still in the process of clearly gathering elements. You know, this is also part of an investigation from the DOJ and the SEC, so we cannot really share details. But definitely, we are looking, and we have been looking into that, and we are going to make any remediation action if we come to the conclusion that we need to improve things.
Giulio, not to belabor the point, but I just want to make sure we're specific here. So the investigation, what you yourself, Allianz itself, is specifically looking at and reviewing, is that just in the structured alpha fund, or is it Allianz Global Investors more broadly that you're examining?
So we are investigating, basically reviewing what is happening on the structure alpha funds. Then clearly also we are going to take a look at Allianz Global Investor US, because we want to take a look to a broader scope, but the investigation or the review are at the point limited to Allianz Global Investor US.
So, Giulio, another thing that's affected a lot of insurers in Europe over the past month have been the flooding in Germany. Allianz has talked about some of the costs that might come along with that, but I'm wondering if there needs to be an examination of how insurers handle climate-related claims, just given climate change and the likelihood that this will continue to crop up.
Yeah, that's a big topic, as you can imagine, not only for Allianz, but for the industry. As you know, also regulators are talking and engaging with us about running climate stress tests. So the point is to understand how climate change might impact the insurance side, might impact also the investment sides of the equation. So there is a lot of effort that we are putting into understanding the implication of climate change for the society, for the community, and clearly also what kind of things we need to be aware and change in order to ensure that we can provide coverage. And on the other side, we want to be sure that we can have very strong financials, as this climate change might create additional threats as we move forward. So it's a big topic, and I would say you're going to see also some regulatory development around this area.